And hello, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of The Zone TV Movie Entertainment. With me, your host Jonathan, once again bringing you my thoughts and review for tonight's episode of Arrow, Season 7, Episode 21. Big spoilers here, so if you haven't seen the episode, might as well go back and go watch it because it's pretty crazy. Very good episode. So, where do I begin? Well, last week's episode, we got to see at the end of the big climax of the ending. Oliver and his team were pretty much hunting down Emiko and trying to capture her. Typical normal Arrow stuff. And then, of course, he decides to blow a building on top of them and have them trapped. So Oliver pretty much gets put a beam on top of him. I don't know what they're called. One of those big, heavy, ceiling top things that came on top of him. And he was pinned down. So he decides, he's trying to find a way to get out. And then, of course, he starts hallucinating. And, of course, we get to see the return of Tommy Merlin. Once again, played by the same actor, of course. And forgive me, but I forgot the actor's name. He came back. It's always good to see him in this show. So he came back to pretty much talk to Oliver about certain little things that's been going on. While that's all happening, you have Emiko pretty much telling the cops that they were the ones, sending them the footage from what happened last week with the whole Roy stuff, when he was killing those two cops because of the whole Lazarus Pit combined with the Mirakuru that he still has in the system. So pretty much that happened, and Felicity had to literally go back to the bunker to try to get them out of there. And the team also tried to find Oliver as well because they didn't know where he was, and he was like a lower level than they were. And then, of course, we got to see Emiko do her stuff. And then, of course, we got some flash forwards where, Felicity's tech has now been hijacked by one of the big, most powerful companies in Starling City. And then, of course, we got to see a little mother-stepson fight where, Oliver's son, William, literally kind of keeps complaining about the fact that, hey, you left me, you abandoned me all these years, I don't know why. And he still has no answer. Then, of course, he goes into a secret mission to try to get back some information about how they are using Felicity's old tech, which is the Archer program. That whole program which, you plug it in, you can find anybody kind of thing, which they kind of use it to super-enhance their soldiers. So he does that and kind of busts in on Renee's plan. I guess he had his own plan to probably get information on this guy. They both get caught, and then pretty much the team literally at the end of the episode for their flash forwards get busted as well. So we don't know what's going to happen there. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens there. And then the ending of this episode, Emiko decides to attack this, the police department, try to blame it on Oliver as usual. Doesn't work. And, Oliver, before he even started try to hook up and try to find his sister, he was met by Tommy trying to, telling him, listen, man, you've been through damage so much, you got so much blood in your hands. You got to find another way to talk to Emiko. Because at this point, Oliver's at a point where if he kills her, is that's the only thing he has left. If he can kill her, maybe all this nonsense will happen, but it will stop happening. But of course, Tommy in his subconscious is telling him, hey man, there's got to be another way to do it. You can fix her, you can change her. How he did with Malcolm. Remember how Malcolm was kind of much at the point was Oliver was going to kill him, but then he decided not to kill him because of what Thea and all that stuff. So basically, Tommy was telling him, hey, listen, if you can do it for him, you can do it for my fault, for your sister. So, and then Oliver, of course, was thinking about it, and he even saw a flash forward kind of thing where he saw another illusion where he does kill Emiko, but then everybody else dies around him. His family gets threatened, and we got to see that. So that was pretty interesting. And now next week's the season finale to see what happens. We even got a moment where Felicity in this episode was talking about how she's not sure what she's going to do when the new baby arrives and what she's going to do, which basically leads to the path of where she disappears into the future. So we got to see, the seeds of that planted, and that's pretty interesting. Like I said, great episode, good action in this episode as well. That was some cool stuff. We got to see Roy do some damage. That was cool. Oliver is always Oliver, so that was interesting. So leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think. What do you think of the episode, and what do you think is gonna happen for the season finale? It's gonna be crazy. I don't know if Emiko's gonna survive, but I think she will survive. I think maybe she'll go after Thea or something. I mean, we probably won't see Thea come back until, maybe the show's over, but you never know. Let's see what happens moving forward. Thank you very much and have a good day.